We are often told that hard work is the only variable for success. Yet millions of people wake up every day, give their absolute maximum effort, and still feel misunderstood, unlucky, and blocked from the progress they were promised. Psychologists identify this exhausting state as an external locus of control. It is the damaging belief that the universe is a series of events happening to you, leaving you as a passive victim of your own misery. Centuries ago, in a village much like this one, a young man named Lin lived as a prisoner to this mindset. Lin was industrious, but spent his energy cataloging the ways the world failed him. He complained when the rain slowed his harvest and when the sun dried the soil. He looked at the success of his neighbors and saw only favoritism and luck. This constant resentment eventually drained all the joy from his daily work and drove his friends far into the distance. Blaming external circumstances provides a temporary escape from responsibility, but it carries a heavy price. It requires the total surrender of your personal power to change your own reality. One afternoon, Lin encountered an elderly sage sitting by a rushing river. He approached the man with a list of grievances, angrily demanding to know why the universe treated him with such consistent unfairness. The sage performed a silent test. He placed 2 vessels into the current, a rigid pitcher weighed of pure gold, and a simple, ordinary pitcher made of baked clay. Lin expected the gold to prevail through its weight and value. Instead, the golden vessel's rigidity became its downfall. It fought the current until it sank, eventually shattering against the unseen rocks on the riverbed. The clay pitcher survived the journey by yielding. It matched the river's tempo and flowed with the obstacles rather than resisting them. This illustrates the core of self-mastery. True greatness comes from the internal discipline to adapt your mindset, rather than wasting your life trying to force the external world to bend to your will. We often scan the horizon for rivals, yet our most effective enemies are internal. Laziness, impulsive anger, and the habit of procrastination do more damage to our goals than any external competitor ever could. Confucius spoke of a man searching for the primary obstacle to his success. When the man was finally handed a mirror, he realized he was looking directly at the source of his own stagnation. He saw that his habits, not his circumstances, were the real barriers. Overcoming this internal friction requires a commitment to learning that never ends. Stagnation is the natural result of believing your current knowledge is sufficient. Mastery requires the empty cup mindset. A cup that is already full cannot accept new tea. It simply overflows. Similarly, a mind convinced of its own expertise is closed to the very insights required for the next level of growth. Personal evolution begins the moment you accept your own flaws and adopt the humble, attentive posture of a permanent student. This commitment to growth inevitably creates a conflict with our modern desire for speed. We want immediate rewards, yet nature reveals that lasting progress relies on a discipline many find unbearable: the ability to wait. Consider bamboo. For years, a farmer sees only bare dirt. Underground, it builds a massive root system, anchoring deeply. Visible results are the final stage of a long, invisible period. Sudden success is earned when no one is watching. This restraint must extend to our speech. Words function like swords. Once they are drawn and swung in a moment of heat, they leave wounds that remain long after the blades are put away. Acting on anger is equally self-destructive. Seeking revenge by holding on to a grudge is like grasping a burning coal to throw at an enemy. You are the first one to suffer the burn. Strength is found in the discipline to delay your reactions and govern your impulses. The person who controls their own response owns the situation. Many people demand respect as if it were a debt owed to them. Confucius argued that respect is a byproduct of consistent character, not a tribute you can successfully mandate from others. The world functions as a lake reflection. If you project hostility, the surface reflects a hostile environment back at you. If you lead with kindness, the social landscape shifts to match that tone. Your internal progress is also heavily influenced by the company you keep. You will eventually adopt the habits, vocabulary, and expectations of your most frequent companions. Even a diamond loses its brilliance if it is kept at the bottom of a coal bin. Eventually, the dust smothers the light. Curating your social circle and leading with integrity are defensive strategies. They protect your mindset and ensure your environment supports your internal master plan. Most people spend their lives accumulating money, power, or fame. These are precarious forms of wealth that can be erased by a single market shift or a change in public opinion. Confucius pointed to a different kind of wealth. Character, doing the right thing when there is no audience, is the only asset that remains unshakable, regardless of external circumstances. A merchant may build decades of trust through fair dealing, only to destroy it in an instant with a single self-serving lie. He might keep the money, but he loses the trust that made his business possible in the first place. At the end of his life, Confucius didn't boast of creating kings or conquering nations. He dedicated his existence to the difficult, quiet craft of building better humans. Lasting greatness is not a prize won by fighting the external world. It is the natural result of the long, disciplined journey to conquer yourself.